Today we're going to warm up for barbell bench press and break down how I personally do a triceps dominant bench. Let's do it. So let's look at bench warm up. One of my favorite bench warm up exercises is windmills. You're trying to maintain the perpendicular position of your shoulders to the wall and not rotate as you rotate your arm. So if your shoulder rotates, you can step away. Do a couple circles. You could do them slower with more control, and as you warm up more, step closer to the wall. Let's do the other side. It may be different side to side for you, and it should be like a tad challenging, but not too challenging. Okay, so you saw that this point right here was when my arms were the widest, so I'm gonna also warm that up with a band. I have 3 different bands here. I believe this is a 5 to 10 pounds, about 15 pounds, and about 25 to 30 pounds. So I'm gonna start with the lightest band and do basically the same thing. You can do this when you don't have a wall. Well, technically you can do the previous exercise too without the wall. And try not to bend your elbows and try not to hyperextend in your lower back. So keep your knees bouncy, keep your pelvis more or less neutral. Open your chest. You can also hunch your chest. Open, hunch over. I actually don't really use heavy bands on this exercise. I would just take the skinny band and bring my arms in to add more resistance. Next exercise is basically cat-cow, but standing and thoracic. So I will fix my pelvis, make sure I'm not wiggling left to right, I'm not at a club, and only change the curvature of my upper back. Most people who haven't done cat-cow or who haven't tried any exercises like this before, it's really hard for them to change the curvature of only upper back or only lower back. They kind of do it all together. They can do this, but they cannot just do hips or only thoracic. So yeah, try those bench warm-ups and let me know what you think. I'm gonna go do barbell warm-ups now. Wrap your wrists, making sure the wrist wrap covers the bend of your wrist. So it needs to be high enough so your wrist is not bending as easily as it was before. Now I'm going to hop on the bench and start warming up with some light weights. Don't forget to arch. I made a separate video about that. If you're curious, it's going to be in the video descriptions below and in the suggestions in the corner. This video has a triceps dominant bench, which means my elbows are slightly forward and closer to my body rather than chest dominant bench. So let's break the setup down a little bit further. First, I'm going to set up the safeties. So if I fail, they're gonna catch the bar, but I don't want the bar to touch them ever if I'm not failing. So it's a relatively small range where your safeties are actually the right height for you. Then I'm going to set up my hands. I'm going to use the marks on the bar to set them evenly and make sure the width is consistent with my training. I grab the bar really hard and try to bend it so my pinkies are really shoving into the bar. Then I pull my lats and shoulder blades together and unrack. I usually unrack before I put my ass down on the bench. Pull my chest to the bar when the bar goes down. And I'm pressing it up slightly towards my face and then up. And definitely make sure not to confuse unracking and lowering the bar. Those are 2 perpendicular movements. You should not be combining them into one, okay?